My name is Jane Banks and I'm the EMEA Commercial Training Director for Baxter Healthcare, EMEA being Europe, Middle East and Africa, and I'm based in the UK. We had a goal this year, our training team, to deliver 50% of our training as virtual. This was set way back last year. So we were already heading in a virtual training direction. And then with the pandemic, that got massively accelerated, basically. So by the end of March, everything was 100% virtual training. And we used Cisco WebEx as our training platform, virtual training platform. And we were learning really, really fast. And then actually one of my US colleagues, he said, Jane, I'm a certified virtual trainer. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. You know, that would be a useful thing to have, basically. I just thought we need some credentials behind us, and we're being self-taught, but this is such a big deal. We need some professional help to make sure we're the best we can be. And so I did some research online and I found the virtual training team, and I watched some of the YouTube videos and watched some of the stuff that Catherine's done. And I thought, yeah, this is exactly the sort of thing that we want. So then we made inquiries about cost and time and so on and so forth, and agreed that you guys could do a train the trainer for us. Which was great. And I went out to my team and said, look, I think this is a good idea. What do you, and they were like, yes, please, definitely, this is what we want. So we got it booked in, and that's why we ended up doing what we're doing. Before we started on this program, we wanted to embrace virtual training. We recognize that is the direction of travel for the future, and a blend of face-to-face and virtual training. Our motivation was we wanted to be the absolute professionals. We wanted to be the people that lead the rest of the organization through this new skill set. And by doing the train the trainer, we massively upskilled, and we're an experienced team. I mean, I've been delivering training for 25 years, and I consider myself to be, world class in terms of my training delivery. And other people in my team are, equally good at training in their specific subject matter areas. But every single person, there was 8 of us that went through it, was significantly upskilled. And I have noticed an increase in confidence with the tips and the tricks and the ideas that Catherine led us through have really built confidence and competence in delivering virtual training. And what's more, now we're delivering proper, proper interactive virtual trainings. The feedback that we get from the organization is outstanding. So people say, wow, I had no idea that 2 hours virtual training could go so fast. I really enjoyed the small breakout groups. I really enjoyed being able to click on the screen and show where, what my opinion is. I really enjoyed the whiteboards and being able to share what we've gathered. Wow, you guys are amazing. And we're basically saying, look, yes, we are amazing, of course, but you can have these skills. And so we are now exactly what I wanted, which is we are seen as the professionals, the go-to people, the people who can deliver with confidence and competence in a virtual platform. And it's the future. I mean, it's going to happen more and more and more. And the face-to-face training will still happen, of course it will. But we have found so many ways to use this. If I can, Emma, just give one example. One of our business units, hemodialysis, big business unit in Baxter Healthcare, used to have the equivalent of 26 days face-to-face training in a year for onboarding new people. Such is the depth and breadth of what they have to go through. That entire curriculum is being converted to virtual training with small 1 to 2 hour modules that are going to be delivered on a rolling program. And the feedback we've had so far is that people really value the spaced repetition. So they learn something, they get to go away and think about it and practice, then they come back and get a bit more. So the bite-sized learning is really helping people. Obviously, it's much more cost effective because we're not paying for flights and hotels and room bookings and all of that. And what we're going to do in HD specifically is, rather than having 26 days of face-to-face training, we're going to run maybe 1 or 2 face-to-face events a year, which will be much more forums where we'll have guest speakers and with real upskilling to a higher level. So that's what we're doing, and that's just one example from one business unit. It's happening all over the place. But, you know, some of my team were, you know, hadn't really done it before. I've got two people who have only been in my team for 6 months, and they were like, oh, you know, I'm really not sure about this at all. But now, I mean, I just sit back and I'm so proud of them, because I every now and then I dip into one of their trainings and see how they're getting on, and they're like, we've built some introduction slides, 2 or 3, that kind of say, right, this is how you need to engage with this training, and we have little warm-ups. So we have a slide which has a happiness meter on it, and they practice using their pointer to say, like, how happy are you as you're coming into this training. And we do little warm-up breakout groups, so they all get to understand how the breakout groups work. And we do that as a little warm-up, the first 10 minutes of every session. And people are getting better and better because they're becoming more familiar with the platform themselves. I think, me being me, I enjoyed watching Catherine and observing how she was handling it and how she was delivering it, because she was totally composed, not rushed. You know, if somebody raised their hand and said, oh, I can't see this, or she was like, okay, well, let's just work that out. And I thought, actually, that's what I want my guys to have, is that such level of confidence. We all enjoyed, and we've stolen, unashamedly stolen. There's the 14 kind of best practice interactions, ways that you can interact, and different ideas. And it's a slide with a line down the middle with balls on it, and the ideas. And we've kind of taken that and twiddled it a bit for ourselves. And it's now included in our 2020 virtual training standards as best practice. And so now we are training people internally on how to facilitate these kind of meetings. And we say to them, you know, there's all these different things that you can do. The other thing that we're using it for is just general meetings. So I have marketing managers saying, oh, you know, I keep having these virtual team meetings and nobody responds. And, you know, it's really hard work getting people to engage. And so we are saying, well, don't set it up as a WebEx, set it up as a virtual training where you've got all these interactions available to you. And here's what you can do. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so they're all really engaging with it. So I think I enjoyed just seeing all the other interactions and really maximizing how we could do those things. I'll tell you something else that my guys really picked up on, which was hilarious when it came up, was Catherine said, you know, how many of you use a slide which just says any questions? And they all kind of went, yeah, I do. And they went, and she said, how often do you get any questions? They all went, never. And so she said, you know, don't use the any question slide. Don't do it. And then we all talked about different ways that you can get feedback. And so that was great. And they were all laughing, saying, right, we've got to go back, rewrite our deck, take out all the any questions slides. We can't use those anymore. So yeah, it's good. Do you know what? Here's an example for you. In our advanced surgery, an absolute key component of that business is going into what they call a wet lab, where you actually see, there's a surgeon and you actually see the products. They're all hemostats and sealants that stop bleeding. And you go into the theatre environment and you see the products being used and you see how they work. And it's groundbreaking, and it changes your mind, and you think, wow, that's amazing. And everybody has always said, onboarding a new hire, you have to do a wet lab. You have to go to a wet lab. Last week, we ran a virtual wet lab. So the surgeon was in the theatre. There was a guy there with a camera. Angelo set it up as a live feed, and we went through and we had questions and answers and interactions, and the whole thing was just done virtually. And the feedback from that was amazing. People were saying, God, I just never knew that I could learn it this way, and I can see exactly what I needed to see. And actually, I don't need to go to a wet lab now. And that's it. You know, everything can be done virtually. I've been running coaching training virtually. People have been breaking out into pairs and doing role play practice for coaching. We're just about to start running our spin selling model virtually. And everybody's embracing that as well. So yeah, there's not much that you can't do, really. One of the things that we are realizing is we have to change behavior of the participants. So we're actually doing at the moment, Emma, we're creating a video, you know, like when you go on an aeroplane and they have the safety video, like British Airways, we're creating one of those to be shown at the beginning of every virtual training and to be sent out with the invites. And it's going to be a short and sweet 2 or 3 minute video, basically saying about being focused, being in the room, turning off any distractions, making sure you're 100% there for your training. And the more people do it, the better they're getting at it. But we're doing a little funny video on that, which we're developing at the moment. I'll share it with you when we've done it. I think the one golden nugget, or the thing that we've taken away from this, and it's not a particular thing, is just the confidence. Now we feel super confident that we know how to do this well and better than other people, and that was my goal, was that to have my team feel confident and competent to deliver virtual training and be the gold standard in Baxter, and we are now, without a doubt. And the Train the Trainer has done that. I said to all of them straight away, get it on your LinkedIn profile, you know, put in that you're a certified virtual trainer, you know, put it in that you've had that training. Tell people, I've been advertising the fact internally that the commercial training team have all been trained as professional virtual trainers. And everybody's like going, wow, that's brilliant. You know, well done, Jane. Well, actually, it wasn't really. I was a bit slow off the mark. I probably should have done it last year, to be honest, but I didn't. So I think that's what I would take away, is the confidence. It's given us the confidence, and it's opened our minds up to more possibilities compared to what we were doing before.